Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Nadell, and I'm the co-founder of StellarEmploy. And I'm really excited to talk to you today about how we use a predictive analytical platform to improve hiring outcomes for high-volume recruiters. This platform was developed during my PhD in behavioral science and statistical analysis at Harvard University. We are already generating additional wages for our job placements. We generated $300,000 in additional wages for our placements last year, and we saved $2.5 million in improved retention. So before I get started, I would like to encourage you to participate in this riddle. The best call center employees have this. So do the best Burger King employees, and the best Dunkin' Donuts employees don't. So what is this? Multitasking capabilities. And if you think about those jobs, it actually makes a lot of intuitive sense. Call center, conflict resolution employees at call centers field multiple calls at one time, and they're managing 12 to 14 different platforms. Burger King employees are dealing with an extremely long menu list and 5 different workstations. And at Dunkin' Donuts, employees getting the job right is really about getting the cream and sugars, and it's much more about attention to detail. Now, this might seem somewhat uninteresting or sort of a now what moment, but this is actually key to what StellarEmploy does. By getting beyond thinking about hourly jobs as jobs that fit into specific industries and verticals, we're able to improve hiring outcomes overall. So let's talk about the job market, the hourly job market. These are the people who make your lunches, fulfill your Amazon orders, cancel your credit cards, and clean your hotel rooms. These are 60 million workers in the United States today, and they make up 40% of all jobs. And despite the rise of technology, despite the rise of automation, half of the fastest growing jobs in the US today actually fall into one of these categories. Now, over the course of these 3 days, you're going to hear a lot of conversation about how can we move people in these jobs to better jobs. And that's rooted in a belief that these jobs are very low on the pay scale and that they don't offer career opportunities. And what I would like to do in this presentation today is to convince you that there's a real opportunity to improve outcomes for hourly job seekers and also provide tangible, profitable benefits to their employers through StellarEmploy. Now, it's based in the cost of turnover. This is a really simple graph. It looks at the probability that an employee will still be at the job X number of days after being hired. And when we talk about hourly jobs, we typically talk about those first 100 days where you're losing 50% of your employees. At an average cost of $1,000 per placement, this is very expensive. I'd like to shift your attention towards the 30% of employees who stay nearly 2 years. These are employees who are benefiting from regular wage increases and from manager opportunities and other promotional opportunities. These people, if you go back to the riddle that I started with, are not the same at every company. They're actually different. Their excelling at the companies that they're at has to do with job fit. And so if we can match people to the jobs where they're most likely to excel using real data, we can increase that number from 30% to something much higher. And to give you a sense of how big that improvement is, think about this. If we can improve the percentage of hourly employees who stay at the job for 2 years or more, just from 30% to 35%, we could generate $3 billion annually and share that savings not only with employers, but also with their employees. And the way we're able to do this is using StellarEmploy's predictive analytics and our unique matching algorithm, which is based on something called the effort-reward imbalance. Also, really intuitive when you think about it. Basically, what we're saying is that different types of people experience different types of effort differently, and different types of people experience different types of rewards differently. So your ideal job is relatively low effort and relatively high reward, but since you and I are different, our ideal jobs are different. Our questionnaire breaks down the core competencies of every single job into different types of effort and different types of rewards that you might see across a number of jobs in the hourly sector. So suddenly we can say call centers and Burger King employees have a lot in common, and Burger King employees and Dunkin' Donuts employees actually don't have much in common. And this is how we implement it. Our client companies have a dedicated link that they post with their job announcements as usual. Their applicants come to our website and finish a 10-minute questionnaire. We can immediately identify that applicant's job fit for the job, and high potential applicants go straight on to securing an interview before they even close their browser, which means that the hiring agents at that company, all they have to do is show up for the job interview. Now, they update information about their applicants, moving them through the funnel. And here's the beauty of it. As they're simply tracking what's going on with their applicants, we're getting key feedback about those applicants' performances in the job, which we're able to loop back into our predictive analytics. We get smarter about who we're hiring. And as we get smarter about who we're hiring for every single company, we're actually getting smarter overall. So we have 25,000 data points from employees in call centers, retail, fast food, fulfillment centers. That's our moat that keeps us at the head of the game. Now, here's how it works for a specific client. This is a call center client of ours. This center hires 1,000 people every single, 1,500 people every single month at a cost of $1,000. So they're spending $1.5 million every single month just on hiring. And a third of those people never even get through training. So this is a company that's spending $500,000 every single month on people who don't generate a cent for their company. After working with us, they saw an improvement in that by 40%. So we're saving them $200,000 monthly on improved retention. We have a B2B SaaS model, and we're charging them at our current price point about $100,000 a year for this opportunity. Now, I mentioned we get smarter and smarter as we get more information about our clients. And so what I just told you was our initial calibration. Our second calibration was actually 10 percentage points better. As we have improved our data, improved our hiring board, we expect to increase our profit margin from an internal cost of $63 per hire down to $21 over the next 4 years. And we absolutely have the team to do it. So I mentioned I'm the data scientist behind the idea. This came out of my PhD work at Harvard University. I'm joined by co-founders Irene Chung with a background in executive recruiting and consulting and an MBA from Sloan and an MPA from Harvard, and Carlos Montoya, who has 20 years of experience growing and managing programming teams and a master's in programming management from Carnegie Mellon. Thank you so much for your time.